June 2019. Believe it, you are channeling right now. The next sentence is coming directly from source. Rashawn, I love you. I have always walked by your side. I have helped you get to where you are today. I made you with a very, very, very valuable set of skills that you have, up until this point, barely scratched the surface of. You are special. Everything that you want for your life, those thoughts about mega abundance, large companies, being a maker in society, competing, competing with the best to come before me. Those are all thoughts that started in me, and which is why I made you in the unique way that I have. Remember, I cannot experience things like you can, so I must experience my desires manifest through the lens of you. You are my avatar, and as you know, I can have anything I want because I am everything, and therefore, you are everything too. You have been gifted with an extremely high level, master status on how to deal with people. Your people skills are well above average, and that is for a reason. You will need to use this talent in our career. But what I did not create you with was that nasty, heartbreaking, and lazy habit of procrastination. You need to fix this from this day forward. You are so much better than what you have been lately, and you need to realign with the best version of you. Only then will I grant you with even more abundance than you can imagine right now. But this is a must. If you don't work on you, I can't work on you. You must shut your mouth this time and just keep your eyes on the prize. I want to see you operating as I know you should be. If, as sometimes you need help, just call on me. See you at the top. That was a message from yourself. How does that sound though? I think it's like, I don't know, you tell me if like you're in a group.
Are usable, some aren't. It just depends. Tell me how I'm gonna go through it.
What if I rest? I mean, I hate to even do this shit. It's like, I can't fix that. What if I rest my voice until tomorrow? Because I don't feel like the coughs and shit, like how do you make that into a video? It's like I'm trying to sing.
Well, the coughs we won't include. So a lot of this, we're gonna use pieces of this, and then we're gonna use a lot of B-roll. What do you read?
Okay, this one's pretty good. It's just one page. October 7th, 2019. I have been communicating with the other side lately. It's been real hard to put into words the messages that have been being conveyed. It's like I'm remembering why I'm here, and I'm realizing that I have not yet beat the game over the course of history. Every time we lose and have to come back, the game gets a little bit harder. Every incarnation, there's more and more distractions that you can use to distract yourself from the reality of existence. Today, it's a 24/7 bombardment of news, videos, entertainment, activities, travels, relationships, career, etc. It is hard as fuck to stay on track. But that is no excuse, because it's always been hard to stay on track, no matter what year it is. And that is why only the ones that persist and completely rid themselves of the fear of death while realizing their divinity are the ones who get to make it into the kingdom of heaven. That place is reserved for the souls who are truly deserving of residing there. Souls that have realized the true nature of this infinite game being played and have embodied the true way of the universe, which is, quote, do unto others as you would want others to do unto you. Love and compassion for all. And to all, may God bless you with the knowledge that will set you free. God consciousness. I like those. you know, when I be talking to myself like that. Because the ones when I'm bashing myself, like, it's not really, like, there's no intention to hide those, not at all. But we all do enough of that, you know. 50% of my journals, I'll just be beating myself up, telling myself how I'm not enough. I need to do this better, I need to do that better. And although there was a sense of truth in those, where I've gotten to now is the realization that you do it to yourself. It's like you're beating yourself up for no reason. And it's because society makes you feel that way. I bought into the society that I wasn't whole and complete already, and I wasn't already doing the most, you know, running multi-million-dollar companies in my 20s by myself, not having any help, and thinking that I was supposed to have it all right. So sometimes when I read those, I don't know, you know, I don't think that it's really resonant with the Creator's Journey message. But you can go in and see how much I beat myself up. That's what Reflections is about. The Reflection series goes over all those journal entries. But right now I'm trying to uplift.
So introduce yourself.
So I'm Rashawn. And I'm the author of The Creator's Journey.
What is the Creator's Journey?
The Creator's Journey is a collection of over 500 journal entries over a 6-year period, where in those 6 years, I started a company with no experience in the field that I started it in. I documented within my journals what building that company to become what I actually wrote at the beginning it was to become was like. And, you know, it was not meant to be the Creator's Journey up until like the second or third journal. I was like, started getting confident, but it was just my inner conversations with myself. But during that process, I had also gone on a real deep spiritual journey. I have found the true nature of God, and I used that understanding to try to, as like a way that I could continue to manifest what I wanted, you know? So it's really just, it wasn't intentional until the end. But at the end is when I realized, like, holy shit, you really like documented you documented a journey of creating something from nothing. And you did it so thoroughly and so honestly that there's something here. It's not just goal setting. It's not at all just goal setting. That's just one little bit of it, because you set the goals and then the journal happens. And the journal is this process that all of us must go through, whether it be now or at another time. But it's the journey back to yourself. And our ancestors had called it spirituality or mythology, but it's this like trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And I was really interested in that. So to answer your question, the Creator's Journey is a collection of journal articles that I didn't expect to become what it is now, which is really like a manuscript on how someone could take something from their mind, put it on a piece of paper, have that thing be very far from where their current reality is, and get to that point.
Who will be receptive to the Creator's Journey?
Specifically, I believe younger men, and I think the age demographic of like 18 to 30 could really find, I believe they could find a very close correlation to themselves in my journals, And um, I really want to show them how unknowingly I found like a technique that really works. Because everybody talks about manifesting things. Everybody talks about wanting to like goals and personal like development, all these things. But like a boots on the ground technique to use is journaling. I believe journaling was like meditating. It was like praying. It was like scripting. It was like goal setting. Journaling, it encompasses all of them. And it's something you can do. It's not like, like fairy or like out there. You can sit down and write down your thoughts consistently. And that's really what I aim to do, is to inspire that demographic, that they can take something from out of their mind and journal it, and journal the process of creating it, or use journaling as a technique to create it. Because we all want things, but we're not really told how to get them. We're given a lot of airy fairy shit, but this works. You know,
How did you begin journaling?
I journaled. I started journaling when I was like, I think 20. I just liked it. It wasn't for a specific reason. I can't tell you when it first started. I think I was like inspired, or I like read something or something was like journaling, and I just tried it and I ended up liking it. And then it just turned into something that like I started doing. But between like 20 and 24, those were just like playing around journal. Not playing, but it reflected where I was in my mind. The creator's journey really started at like 24 when I started my company and I started getting intentional with my journal entries. Like, I'm not gonna just talk about the shit I did last night or the shit I wanna do tonight. Let's like put our goals out there. Let's, start doing things like that. And that's when the beginning, or the Manifestation Journal project began.
How or when did you realize, what moment was it where you realized that your journals were a way to create your own reality?
In the beginning, I didn't know. It was just like, I'm writing anyway, so let me just write down goals. I'm starting a company, so let me just write down what are my goals for 2016. I think that I know actually, there's a, there's so much benefit to being naive and not knowing, and just being like, fuck it, I'll experiment, I'll try. And that's something that you have like innately in your youth, because the older you get, the more like you get affected by society, the more your mind gets like less moldable, like clay, and more like molded. So I was just trying some shit. My life was cool anyway. I thought it was cool. I was like, fuck it, I'm broke anyway, working odd jobs. Let me just like try some shit. I didn't know it would work. So, now that I'm this age, I realize that because of all that I've gone through, I think more than I used to, you know? But at this time, it was just like, fuck it, you dare me to journal? Cool, watch. And I just tried it, and I ended up liking it.
How did you feel when New World Lighting closed down?
Defeated and relieved, because, it was my company. It was started this shit in 2016 journal. So, and sometimes in our 20s, we get attached to things thinking that like we're supposed to hold on to those things. And so there was an element of that, like, damn, I failed, it was my company, not really realizing that it wasn't until I let go of that, that I could go through the process that I needed to go through so that I could rebuild it again. So that was the defeated part, but then relieved because it was the first time in my 20s that I ever had actual time off. So from 24 to 29, I worked 6 days a week, and I liked it. I thought I liked it. I was just doing it, but I was burnt out at that time, and I was just relieved that I didn't have to go to work and be responsible for all the things I was responsible for. So it was like the first time I got to enjoy my 20s. So it was both, felt like I was defeated. I felt like I let my whole team down, but then I also felt like now I had time for myself for the first time. It was like a conundrum. I didn't know how to feel, honestly. I went back immediately after that and then just started trying to build my second company, or right after that, like, because I was just so like in that mindset, just work, like I was just like a bred workaholic. But that was just out of habit. Then I started enjoying myself, and yeah, so, and it was needed. It was much needed. Before I went back into the fire, I needed to like, sit back and enjoy. Because I did not enjoy my 20s really. I was just work, work, work. So there's a balance to it, You can't just be one way.
Maybe aside from that last thing you said, that you could send one message to yourself in your early 20s, what would that be?
Um, Listen to your intuition. I would say, I did. So I'm just proud of myself for doing that, because most of those times it saved me from situations that would not have me here right now. So yeah, I think that would be what I would tell myself. Because your intuition talks to you. We sometimes just don't listen to it because we convince ourselves otherwise. But my intuition always had my back. Like my intuition said, write down your goals. My intuition is what was like, write down your goals in 2016. Write down that you want to make $100,000. I never made $100,000 by that point. Like, just try it. And I did it, and it happened. It said, write down that you want to do $1 million with your company. Not only did I never do $1 million, no one in my family ever did $1 million at the time. So, now $1 million, I mean, I haven't done it like a million times, but it's kind of like, at one point I was so far away from it, behind it, and now at this point I'm so far in front of it. But I had to set a goal to get to that point. But it wasn't like something that, it's like me saying right now I want to do 50 million. Like the most I've done was 5. So that's a lofty goal. But if I'm not gutsy enough to do it, then according to what I've learned, which is you have to write it. You have to give the intention to the universe. And the way that you can do that is via journaling. But if you don't give the direction to the universe, then you'll just be, the analogy that I think of is like when you're in the ocean on a ship. If you're on a ship in the ocean and you don't have a destination that you're going to, then you can just be traveling in circles forever and not even knowing that you're traveling in circles, because it's like, but if you have a destination, then you could travel somewhere. So if you don't have goals, then it's like not having a destination to go to.
Have you reached your destination?
No, it just continues. I just now have more like understanding of how to do shit. Like, cause I did it. That's like if to ask somebody if they won one championship, like, have you satisfied all your goals? Like, no, I figured out how to win a championship. Now I want another ring. You know, we never have enough. But we're living here. That's what we're here to do. You know, it's an ongoing journey. The creator's journey is an ongoing journey. You know, so to answer your question, no, because now I have different goals, bigger goals, goals that are more in line with the divine too. They're not all about me and my monetary gain. They're more in line with like trying to have an impact on other people and having helping them to go on their journey to realize themselves like I have. You know, it's the best feeling in the world to have achieved things and done what you said. When you can know that you are a man of your word, there's not a feeling that's really like that. So I just want to show other men how to be a man of their word, you know? Because it's the best feeling that I had. It trumps the money, it trumps all that shit. I'm just glad that I said something, I did it.
Can you reintroduce yourself?
I'm you. That's really who I am.